Hi, I'm your host, Stefanie Shore. Welcome to The Reset, where we hit the pause button, embrace who we are, reconnect with our purpose while rewriting our stories together with confidence. The Reset is excited to partner with Evolution Medicine. Evolution Medicine provides patient-centered psychiatric care. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit www.evolutionmedicineapn.com or call 973-936-8108. So today's episode is super, super special because I get to introduce you to someone whose energy is completely uplifting and contagious. Her name is Q, and I met Q at a Wonder Girls mentor dinner. So we already know she's great because she's a mentor. And she has this big, beautiful smile I wish you could see right now because she's contagious and I love it. So how are you, Q? Thank you for being here.
Stefanie, I am amazing. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So I have to tell you, the reason why I asked you to come here, and I was so excited about it, is because I saw you recently covering Fashion Week, Bridal Fashion Week, I'm getting married, Paris Fashion Week, all these different things. And I thought you were talking to such interesting, cool, different people. And I see you do so many different things in the media and you cover things in such a unique, fun way. Like, I feel like I'm your girlfriend going with you. I'm like, oh my God, now I need to go shopping with her.
Yay.
So I want to learn about who you are, but most importantly, who you are at the core. Like, how did this all start? Who are you?
Okay, so in a nutshell, I am a fun person that loves to be outdoors, that loves fashion. I've loved fashion my entire life. I think my mother loved it first. That's what she made me like it. And then in general, I just like to have fun and relax and mind my business. But most importantly, just have fun and with everything that you do. But in general, I guess I'll tell everybody what I do. I am a fashion marketing media personality. I cover the entire fashion industry. I also, on the other side of the fashion world, I'm also an activist. So I do a lot of activism work. I sit on the board for the Human Rights Commission. I was also part of the NAACP. So I have both life with both fashion and politics at the same time.
I love that because, you said you mind your own business, but fashion is like everybody's business, right? Because it's out there. So you have to be a certain type of person to meet with different people, see someone wearing something and, not roll your eyes.
For the most part.
For the most part, right? Because some of the things that I see, like when I'm looking at Fashion Week or looking at some of the runways, I'm like, where do the people wear these things?
You'll be surprised.
Yeah.
So looking at the piece I'm wearing now, it's something that people would probably see in the store and they're like, I would never buy that. But once you put the pieces together, you'll start to realize that actually looks really good. Don't mind how they put it on the runway. You're supposed to take it apart and put it in your own flesh.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, the runway is just for you to catch your eye so we can get you to pay attention. Because if you see someone walking with a T-shirt and jeans, you're like, typical. But if it looks crazy and, extravagant or very artsy, you're tuned in. And now you're focusing on, oh, I like that, but I don't like that. Oh, I like that, but I don't like that. So that's the whole point of the runway look. That's why everyone's always like, who's going to wear it? You are. You're going to go to the store, you're going to buy it, but you're not going to buy the entire piece. But you'll buy a piece from that look because it made you look. That's the whole point of it.
That's so cool. I never thought of it that way, actually.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. Because I love fashion and I like to think that I'm fashionable and I feel like I'm always look put together. But and I kind of go with like a mood for like what I put on.
Yep.
Even today at first I was like, I don't know, I wasn't in the mood to wear anything. And I'm like, wait a second, I'm going to be with someone who does fashion. And I'm like, okay, I'm still, putting together, I have something, I think this is from Cotton On and this is from Shein and this is Calvin Klein.
You did it well. You did very well.
I'm like, I'm wearing leopard actually. So is leopard in or out?
Yes, animal print is still in and it's actually coming back.
First coming back.
Yeah, you
Oh,
remember we
wow.
went away with it with the whole PETA Act, but it's coming back very heavy, a lot.
You know, I went to a place in New Jersey in Caldwell. They have like a vintage fur shop, and they take jackets that are like super long and like a lot of old jackets, and they'll cut them. They'll make you
Yep.
any type of jacket you want. And I was like, can you do that?
Yeah, that's honestly why first coming back, because the vintage look, the sustainability look, the vintage shopping, because we can't buy clothing now because of the new tax and tariffs.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
like upcycling. Let's go back to this vintage store. So now you have your mom and pops who had all the fur before PETA was throwing paint on them, and now the stores are reselling them, and they're like, oh, now fur is back.
So do you really think with like the tariffs and everything going on that I'm not going to be able to wear these like
Yes,
$3.99 shirts?
absolutely.
Oh,
Forever
okay.
21 is shut down.
Okay.
Yeah, they
I
shut
did
down.
notice that.
Yeah, all of them. And that was your 3.99 store to get everything. But because and Sheen has now upgraded themselves where they now have doubled the price to become more sustainable or way more fashionable or luxury. So they can't afford those new prices.
It's really funny. When I was younger, I used to go to the store, Bongo.
I actually know that store.
You know that store?
Yes.
And I was so excited to have Bongo jeans. I grew up in Jackson Heights, Queens. And
Yes.
I actually found, like 10 years ago, Bongo flats with glitter gold on top. And I wear them. Like, I'll run out in them. And they
It's a
sold them in
nostalgia.
Sears.
And Sears
Weird.
don't exist
No,
anymore.
Sears doesn't exist
You
anymore.
see, all of that,
Yeah.
is all playing a play. But the fact that you found the bongo shoes, you were like, oh my God, I have to have it. And that's all it is just nostalgia. Everyone's just touching back on, what do I want? What did I used to wear since I can't buy new clothes anymore?
Wow.
That's what it is.
What about like the younger generation? I don't know if you don't mind me saying how old you are.
Oh, yes, I am beautifully 35.
Oh, that's good.
I
That's good.
know.
I like that. Okay. So I'm beautifully 45. So
Amazing.
we'll find someone else in the room who's 25 maybe.
Yeah.
No. But I was just thinking about like someone who's younger. Like I feel like I have a lot of nostalgia, and because I've had kids and I've gone back and forth, I've worn clothes now that I wore when I was in my 20s. In fact, I found jackets. I don't know if you remember the brand Art and B.
Yes, I do. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So I have a few jackets from there. I wore them in Vienna, Austria when I went when I was like
Oh, wow.
18,
Yeah.
and I could fit back into them. Super proud of that. You know,
Snap, snap,
yeah,
snap.
yeah,
Gotta snap.
yeah. And you know, it's so funny because you always tell people like, don't leave stuff like that in your closet because you're like, oh, you know, be happy in the body you're in and all this stuff. And then like I was one of those people who kept leaving the clothes in
Yeah.
the closet, and I could fit back in. So
That's
hey.
why you leave them in the closet. Yeah, be happy with the body you're in. However, let's be honest. Are we really happy? You want to fit into that old, and it makes you feel better when you tell everyone, I used to wear this in high school.
Yeah. Or like I've had this thing for like 22
Yeah.
years.
And everyone's like, and it still fits? Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a different feeling.
Oh my
But
God.
I would say the younger kids now, they are dressing like mom and dads now. It's sad to say, but because they have been bombarded with the dress code, how they do not know how to dress for dress codes, especially the younger generation, I would say 21 and younger, they do not know how to dress for job interviews. They do not know how to dress to go to work or corporate office. So a lot of them are now going into this like uniform look where I just wear a plain suit, a plain look, a plain this, so I don't get in trouble. So if you realize everyone's doing this plain unisex look, like we all look alike, we all look uniform, so none of us could get in trouble. So that's what they're selling a lot in the stores for the younger kids.
I had noticed I went to Bloomingdale's yesterday, and I started to buy stuff. And actually, I'm going to an event on Thursday. I'm going to be doing some charity work.
Okay.
French Connection.
French Connection, that's an older company.
That is an older
Not too
company.
many people still shop there.
But it's Bloomingdale's right and center right now.
Well, that's because French Connection probably has all of that old school still look that everybody. Because think about it, French Connection doesn't really change their style.
No,
It stays
but
temporary.
I haven't seen French Connection. I was like, all of a sudden, it was right where the 7 jeans
It was
used to be.
always in the back.
Always in the, now it's like has its whole entire section. It's like as big as this room.
Yeah, because now everyone's shopping. They're like, I'm tired of looking for something. I'm tired of trying to stand out. I get in trouble if I stand out. How can I look neutral as possible? That's why French Connection's coming back. It's a very neutral shop if you think about it.
Yeah, no, it's nice too. It's clean. It gives that, like, I bought a dress that kind of looks like a business jacket, but now it's a dress.
And those are
I love that.
transformations are big.
Transformations are big.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So, so how did this journey start for you? Like like I could talk to you now. I'm like ready to talk like for hours about
Go.
fashion, and I'm like I didn't
Yeah.
even know I knew some stuff, and I'm talking about brands and stuff. So
See?
I already feel smarter. But like
That's it. Now you're a fashion expert.
that's it. I'm a fashion expert. Okay, next I'll be doing fashion videos. But like has this part of you always like been there? Like when did you say, okay, I'm going to take this out and I'm going to become like a media personality? Was there a person? Was there an aha
Yes.
moment?
So for me, I was always in the fashion industry. I started fashion in high school. So I started designing in high school. That's where I learned how to sew. So I wanted to be a designer. So I was the girl in high school that was doing all the fashion shows and making clothes. I even made my own prom dress.
Oh, that's so cool.
I know, it was so cool. But for once I got to college, I didn't get accepted. I give this speech all the time because I put all my eggs in one basket for FIT as a designer. So I didn't get accepted because of my sketches. And FIT was really big on sketches because, you know, the AI world and digital world wasn't really that big yet. So when I didn't get accepted, I was just like, all right, fine, take a year off. My mom was like, no, you're not. So she ended up applying for Berkeley College for me. And I ended up going to Berkeley College. So after going to Berkeley, I did very bad in Berkeley because I didn't want to be in Berkeley. But I ended up getting my grades back up, transferring out to the Art Institute. So my senior year at the Art Institute, you had to do an internship. Again, I was still focused on being a stylist, a designer. Even though I was getting a degree in fashion merchandising and marketing, I was doing the visuals at stores. So for me, I'm like a stylist. So I got an internship with a celebrity stylist. We were doing shoots and stuff. And he was just like, I'm starting a show. And I need you to be my correspondent. You have the look, you have the smile, you have the voice, you have everything. I was like, me? He was like, yeah, I need you to be my host. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever, I'll try it out. And the first event he sent me to, of course, was the NFL pop-up shop. So getting there
Oh.
to interview NFL players about what they like to wear on and off the court and stuff. So for me, I was just like, okay, put your marketing brain on. These players are like, I don't know, Nike. So then I was like, all right, I'll move you guys out the way and talk to the wives. So then I ended up having a real conversations with them because, you know, they were the ones who really do the shopping. And the PR companies, they were like, oh my God, this is amazing. How often do you do this? Can you do more videos for us? And that's where it started growing. Everybody just started wanting me to go and do more interviews and be able to get more of the behind the scenes on what's happening in the fashion world. And I was just like, okay, I must be doing something right. Someone must like this. So I decided to invest in myself. I decided to go back to more training. So I went to media classes now. So I got more of the training, 5 years of training with that. And then I just took the ground running with there. And everyone's just been calling and hiring since 2012. Started in 2012.
That's amazing. I find now that I started this podcast and once I put it out there to the universe that I
Yep.
was doing these things, I was open to meeting people, doing events or talking about health or whatever it was. People reach out to you.
Yes.
You know what? There is so much love, good
Yes.
vibes in this universe because, you know, there's this whole phenomenon now with you have to go over and, you know, rush as fast as you can, get what you want. But once you show people who you are, people want to help you.
Yeah.
There are a lot of helpers still.
There are a lot. That's honestly how my career grown. It was just people seeing me and was like, oh my God, have more events if you want to. I can, till this day now, I met so many people during Bridal Fashion Week and I got invited to Paris Fashion Week. And well, I got invited to Paris Fashion Week first, but being able to get these invitations and being Australia, that's what it was. I got invited to Australia Fashion Week from Bridal Fashion Week. And I've never been to Australia and I just got approved to get in there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so
I
the
like
thing-
Australia. I've been to Australia.
Really? Okay.
I feel like it's, so you said you haven't been, right?
Not yet.
I feel like it's a mix between New York and San Francisco.
Interesting.
Well, Sydney at least is.
Well, that's where it is. And the designers, they
so
were
good.
like, girl, if you come out to Sydney, you will blow up. because you have the look, you have the voice, and we don't have, apparently they don't have people who are reporting on fashion over there. And they're like, if I come out there and I really do this podcast and do the thing out there, I would blow up. So
Wow.
that's why I applied and I got accepted instantly. So that lets me know there are markets. People are looking for us. What it's like what they say, if you build it, they will come. That's all that
It's so
matters.
true. So, what you saying that, you know, I'm of the habit, no matter what's going on, I have a full time job, I have 3 kids. I'm a yes, yes, yes. Is there a time like that you're like, oh, should I be saying no to this? Is there now things that you are able to like pick in your head and say, this is not something I do? Is there any fashion no nos for you?
Yeah, they're depending. So it's really hard to say no, especially with the fashion industry.
Okay.
So one of the things is I try not to look at the glitz and glamour for my title or whatever. So people are typically like, oh, who's the brand? What is it for? Where is it going to be? Oh, it's not at the studio? Oh, no. So my thing is, what people don't end up realizing is that it's actually the smaller groups of people that do not have anything that have more of the following and the viewership. You have your big brands, you have all of that. Yeah, we tune in, but if someone actually takes the time to tune into somebody that nobody knows, there's a 10 times more interest than knowing the Beyoncés and all of that stuff. So I'm more likely to say yes. I always say yes, depending on my schedule too. If my schedule is packed, then that's when I'll say no. But
Right.
I'm more like, I like to say yes. I like to give everybody the opportunity, and plus it's opportunity for me. Now I get to pull onto your demographics and get them on mine.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was thinking that with you
it's a
too,
business.
because I think, and that's what I always go back to, like every time I, talk about like resetting or, doing a podcast, I think every single person you meet, you could find something common that the two of you have
Yes.
that you could crack up over, that you could like just be like, you too, me too. Like it's, there's just so many things that we all feel because we're all human, right? And when you humanize it and when you're kind and you think about a person's like aura and want to spread goodness, like it all pops out.
It does.
It does.
And authenticity, you can see it from far away, trust me.
So, what's a big surprise been to you since you started doing this?
How easy it is. I was thinking about that
Ah,
too. It's very easy to infiltrate the industry, any industry. Somebody actually told me years ago, if you want to be something, I actually said this on the last podcast, if you want to be something, all you have to do is start by saying you are that. There was a whole thing where this gentleman, he went to jail, of course he did, but he believed he was a doctor and he was operating on people. He told himself, I'm a doctor, and he became a doctor in his head, and he learned everything he needed to learn, and he became a doctor. Of course, he got caught because he wasn't licensed, but he was a really good doctor. So my thing is, if you thoroughly believe something, and that's where it became for me, where I kept saying, no, I'm not a reporter. No, I'm not this because I don't have this views, or I'm not on TV, or I'm not. And someone was like, what are you talking about? Once you say you're it, you're it. You're a reporter. And once I took hone on that, I flew. I was just like everywhere. I was like, I'm a reporter. And everyone was like, great, we need you. Come.
it's so true. You have to speak it into the universe and
Yeah.
say you're it. I had a coach who had influenced me and told me the same thing. I was like, well, I haven't spoken to, internationally. And he goes, yes, you have. You're on the internet.
Yep. There you go.
I'm like,
That's your
okay, I'm
resume.
an
It's true.
international speaker. Yeah. But you really are like, we're like anybody who's watched any movie, they're in different languages, they're translated. If you're on YouTube, you're everywhere.
Yeah.
If you're on any one of these platforms. So you have a few different platforms that you're on. So what is Q Talk specifically, where you go out and report on fashion? Is there
Yes.
another platform or?
No, everything is strictly Q Talks. So if I am on another platform, they're hiring Q Talks, the brand, to be on that platform. But yeah, Q Talks, my website, qtalks.show. That's where you get everything for fashion, and that's where the PR companies hire Q Talks to come there.
That's so cool. So, is there been anybody that you've like interviewed recently that you were like, oh my God, how did like that made you feel a little bit like starstruck? Because I know for myself, like I've gone to a few book signings. I'm the type of person who I ran into people. like out to dinner, I never would come up to someone and stop them and be like, "Oh, I'm a big fan," because I'm like, this person's human. I don't know them. I
Yeah.
really don't think I know someone I don't know. But has like now that you're doing this and interviewing people, is there someone who like you're like, "Oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to talk to this person."
Honestly, I've never had that starstruck energy, even before I was doing all
Oh
of this.
wow.
Only because it goes back to that they're human. They just worked a little bit harder. So for me, when I do see someone, I do approach them. It's not the starstruck stuff. It's more of a you're doing the damn thing, girl, or you're doing
Oh,
the damn thing. Yeah,
complimenting.
like I
Nice.
watch you on TV. Keep going, cause don't sleep. Just cause they want to be left alone and want, but people like compliments. People, you could imagine how many bashing or how many hate comments they get on a regular basis. Or maybe they were feeling down that day. They didn't do a great job on that scene. And here I come as a fan. By the way, I saw that episode. You did the damn thing. Good job, girl. And they're like, oh, thank you. That was actually one of the girls in Harlem, the show Harlem. I met her during
Oh, okay.
Bridal Fashion Week outside. I was walking right into a show. We were going to SA Azindor. I'm not saying the name right. But I was going right into there because I had a booking. And she was just standing right on the corner. And I was like, I know you. I was like, girl, I was watching you the other day. Good job. And she was like, really? Thank you. She was like, you want a picture? I was like, yeah. And we just took a picture. And then as soon as I took the picture, I walked in and she walked in right behind me into the same event. And I was like, oh, you were coming here. She was like, yeah, I was. I was like, oh, okay. And that was that. And that was it. So for me, I would say, but in terms of the best interview
Yeah,
that I've
in terms of
had,
best interview.
Dapper Dan.
Dapper Dan.
Yeah, so Dapper Dan is a Harlem Renaissance. So he is
Oh,
actually the reason why the Met Gala's theme is the theme this season.
okay.
So the theme is all about what suits you or what fits you. So it's all about suiting and dandy. That's what dandyisms. So it's all about that, and that came from the Dapper Dan era. So when I did his interview, what really surprised me was when it was during Fashion Week. I was like, so what message do you have for those aspiring fashion designers or fashion people that want to be in the industry? And he was like, read books. Read a lot of books. I read a book every day. I read. Just read. And that inspired me. And I was just like, he didn't even talk about the career, nothing. He was just like, stay intelligent. That's it.
Stay intelligent.
Yeah.
That's a really good advice because, I was watching a show on Netflix and it was all about publishing. And, my fiance was saying to me, is the book industry still alive? Do people
It's
still
coming
read?
back. It's coming back.
Is it like retro? I hope it's like, is it like the clothes I have in the back
libraries
of my closet? Oh, God.
libraries don't have books anymore. But so you have all of these little pop-up bookshops that are coming back because now they're turning into lounges
So is this like more like New York City or
everywhere.
Brooklyn,
Everywhere.
Harlem, everywhere?
So you'll see a lot more in New York City for sure, as New York City is the hub for everything. But everywhere, even in Rockland, they have like these little now lounge areas that are bookstores. And you come in, you get a drink, you have a glass of wine, have a cocktail, pull a book, read it. There's a DJ playing music. It's like a full lounge for a bookstore.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I like that. I like to keep everybody smart.
Plus, the younger generation, they're reading more. You'll be surprised as much as they're, I would say the alpha generation, the younger ones, they're going to be the ones to really change things and bring things back because they're born with the phones. Right now, they see mom and dad are our age on the phone all day. They're tired of it. They're like, ugh, mom's on the phone, dad's on the phone. They're like, I want to do something else. That's all we do is go on the phone.
I have a 17-year-old daughter, and she's a big reader. She just Zelled me $7.83 for a book last night. I'm not even joking. She's
I
like,
just bought my fiance an Audible the other day.
I'm like, what are you doing? But she reads a lot of books.
Yeah,
The
younger generation is bringing that back heavily. They're really just trying to escape this world. It's this whole new thing called escapism, because now everybody just wants to live in a different world. No one wants to live in this world.
Yeah, it's a tough world to live in, I feel. And even myself, as I, enjoy and I get sucked into social media and listening to things and not knowing where to go to listen to it. Because I'm like, wait a second, I'm posting on this, platform. I'm posting on Facebook. I'm posting on Instagram. I'm posting on TikTok. I'm like, I have 4 different personalities.
Yeah.
Like on TikTok, I'm dancing. I'm like all over the place. I'm like,
Yeah.
jamming out to songs I don't think I ever would have.
And you would never post on your LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, no. Although I see some people doing that lately. I do. I do.
Yeah.
I still kind of take myself super seriously that way, where I'm like on LinkedIn, I'm not putting anything that's not, I feel, of intelligent value. And that's where maybe the books come into play of where, reading is so important. A lot of people do audiobooks, but I own a lot of books. I like the feel of a book.
Me too.
I like the smell of it. I used to sit in Barnes and Noble in Union Square. You know that Barnes and Noble?
Yes, that was my spot to always
Oh,
go to.
really?
I feel like all teen
Is
from
that
like
like where
your
we all
20,
discovered
yeah.
our lives and
Yeah.
who we want to be?
You walk around Union Square and you're like, oh, I need a break. I need to sit down, grab a bite. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to like around the holidays they would have those fairs too. I have some
Yes.
paintings actually. Well, they're more like posters that were of paintings that I still have like hanging up now, and I've kind of gone back to that because I recently bought a house last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you, my own house.
Ah, yes.
But I found myself finding that old art because I love that when you're like walking down the street and you could see like artists and they have like those posters and they're just framed out and you can see it. How does art and fashion like mix together?
All the way. That
I mean,
is fashion is art.
Yeah, duh.
Well, even just for
You see, you have to educate me a little bit.
well, even from your leopard print, that's a textile. That's somebody that actually drew that on a computer. So when I went to FIT, one of the things they taught us in our textile classes was actually learning how to make patterns, learning how to actually create the fabric. So creating whatever art and then taking that and repeating it multiple times on the fabric. So now they have this bigger thing where you have all these artists who are actually drawing on fabric and they're taking the fabric, cutting them up and making clothing out of them now. So you're getting yards of fabric of just an artist painting. So what makes it really unique, especially in the bridal industry, they're really
okay.
big with that. What makes it really unique, now you have this large yard of fabric and every print is different. It's not going to be like a machine made where they just copy and paste. Now if someone is drawing something, this dress is unique from that dress, even though they look alike. But if you look closely, it's like, wow, the patterns don't even match. It's because that's what they're doing now. Everyone is drawing on fabric.
So how would that work for a wedding dress? Like, because I think of a wedding dress like, white with this beading. And also, by the way, why does it take like 6 months to a year to get a wedding dress?
So wedding dresses are real couture. So the difference between this is where you learn fast fashion, couture fashion. So couture fashion is handmade.
Couture is handmade,
Anything
okay.
that is couture is handmade. So if you're getting a dress that is taking that while, that person is hand sewing those beadings, hand sewing the lacing on. Because the thing, even when you have the eyelash lace on, like everything is intricately placed, because what ends up happening once we fit it to your body and do the tailoring, we need to be able to tailor it a way to still keep the pattern and keep everything the way it's supposed to look.
So that's even like, I tried on a wedding dress and it was like 5 times my size. But even if they slim it down, it's going to still look the same because of the way that they.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Because
that's so deep.
They have to hand take the pieces out, put your sizing and your seams in, and then sew that lace right back on top, or so put those beadings right back in it. Because you can't, if you have beading, you can't just fold it in and just sew over it. Got to take it out, put your thingy, and then do it all over again.
Right now is a big time for prom dress shopping. My daughter's
Yes.
prom dress shopping. I went with her. Every dress starts at like 500 plus.
Yeah, prom is a whole nother story.
I know.
Nowadays.
I tried to order, and you know what? You do have to go to the good stores for stuff like that because I did. I ordered a wedding dress from a site in
It
China, and it looked just like it said it would, but it was made for someone who was like 4'2". Like
Yeah.
seriously, the dress was. I got it out the box. It totally looked,
Yeah.
appropriate, but then it like stopped at my waist.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was supposed to have tulle, like it was kind of like that mermaid look, and it was supposed to have tulle. And I was like, oh my god! And there was like some lady wrote me back, and she's like, don't put it, as like a return. Put it as a $15 merchandise. It was like this whole big ordeal, and I'm like, why did I do
yeah.
that? Because they look so much better when they're flashing through your like Google feed.
Well, that's
I'm like
the
trying
whole
to save
point of
money.
it. But you can save money. There are a lot of bridal designers out there, and that's what I tell everybody. And that's why this season I was really intricate and really adamant on asking the designers, what is your price point?
Oh, okay.
Because one of the things everyone thinks once you're in bridal fashion week, that means that dress probably is like $30,000, $15,000. But I had a lot of designers where their price point was like 500, 10,000, I mean 10,000, $1,000, $2,000, and they were showing right at Bridal Fashion Week. So one of the things I tell people, if you can make it into the bridal market, you'll be surprised. You'll actually find a cheaper dress in the bridal market that is designer than going to a regular store to get a bridal dress. Because there's also, they got to ship it, the upmark, and all of that stuff, you know, price up and everything. Then the store got to put their pricing, and that's how the prices go haywire.
I always think about when you were saying that, like I ended up getting my dress from a local bridal shop, Tina's Bridal in Totowa. And it was because I passed by it. I was having lunch with a friend and she's like, calls me in my car and she's like, you got to look across the street when you're driving back. There's a bridal store. So I'm very like karma driven with even things I wear. Like I have to have a good feeling about it.
Me too.
Yeah?
Yeah, because honestly, my fiance and I were looking for venues because we're just going to do a small micro wedding this year. And I was just telling him, I walked into one of the venues. I was like, the hostess didn't give me good energy. I didn't like the venue because of it. And I
Yeah.
was like, if that energy is not right, then that means my day off, I won't be happy. So
It's so
yeah,
true. Energy is everything. I'm getting
everything.
married in Long Branch at McLoon's on the beach, and I'm having a small wedding too. What does micro start at? Like, what's micro? Like, is it micro like?
Well, we started out at 25 and now we're at 50.
Okay, so I'm still having a micro wedding.
Okay,
Okay,
where
okay,
are
cool.
you
Okay,
at?
I'm at 40,
Okay,
so I'm a little
okay.
more micro. I'm like micro. I'm like, is that three people? What's micro?
No,
What's
honestly,
micro?
I kept telling everyone micro, and I told them I had 50. They were like, "Oh no, you're still good. It's 50 is the cutoff for
Oh, okay.
micro. Yeah, 50 is the
Okay.
cutoff."
Yeah, and I felt the vibe too in that room. Like I definitely did. I just like it just feels chill and I feel airy. And at first I thought I was going to do a winery, but actually I didn't like any of the vibes at these wineries. They're like, okay, if you want to just breathe the air here, it's like 5 grand. And I'm like,
Yes.
I'm good. But they didn't seem like as welcoming because they're very busy. I think the wine industry, which is a whole other thing, it's very hard work to,
Yes.
I don't know, stomp these grapes and everything, but
It's a lot of
it's a
work.
lot of work.
And if one bush, because I know someone who actually makes wine,
Oh,
and
okay.
one her entire vineyard got messed up because it got attacked by bugs, so she had to get rid of the entire vineyard, start all over again. It's stressful.
Yeah, we went to this little small winery in Sussex County, and it was so beautiful. And I told the guy, I'm like, when I walked in, and I was like, "Oh, do you have, are you having, do you have weddings here?" And he said to me, "No," and he was very like upset and rude about it. I was like, "You should." He's like, "No, I shouldn't." And that's where you don't know business sometimes and don't know what
Yeah.
works for somewhere or does. He's like, "I'm never going to have a wedding here because I don't think it would." He's like, "We're a small vineyard, and frankly, it would eat up." All
Yeah.
our cost and time, they just don't have the
I
capacity.
think that's what it is to plan a wedding and actually have people walking around your stuff. That's where you lose a lot of your products as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you were talking about getting married this year. Oh my God, we're so in sync. We're both getting
Yes, we
married this year. That's so
Yes.
exciting. So, what is it? I guess I'm going to ask you, like, do you think having a supportive partner makes a big difference
Huge difference.
in your career and your success?
Huge difference. Yes, because one, before I even met my fiance, just my mother was extremely supportive. Just from her being supportive, allowing me to do what I needed to do. And I'm like, Mom, I got to go to the city. I got to do this. I got to spend all night editing. She understood and she would come, here's food, here's this, you didn't eat
Aw.
today. So now having a fiance that does that, it's like he says it. He's like, you need me to do anything? What do you need me to do to prep you today? And so that makes me feel way more better and more confident. And I'm like, I can lean on somebody. Trust me, it's way better. Especially when I get overwhelmed and he's like, relax. You got this. You've been doing this for a while. You're good. And I'm like, okay, I do got this.
I think that's so amazing because I think that's the key to a happy relationship. A lot
Yes.
of people are like, who should you be with? What's the right person? Look for the person who's clapping for you, who's excited about what you're doing, who's interested in what you're saying, even if they don't have a clue. Like, I
Yep.
think the same thing. My fiance right now, he's always with my kids when I'm doing this.
Yep.
Before I left here, he like was standing there like in the kitchen, like asking me like, is there anything I can do for you? You know, he was looking
Yeah.
over your website. He's like,
Really?
I'll help you with questions for her. She seems so cool.
Oh,
And I was like, you know what? That's so cool. And yeah, I think it's hard right now. A lot of people have a lot of mixed feelings about what you should, you know, how you should date, who you should be with, the type of person to be
oh, I've
with.
been through them all. And I'm in the industry where I'm constantly on the go. There's times where, especially during Fashion Week, it's like I don't even exist. It's just work, 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 work. It's like show. I literally will go to probably 20 shows a day. So by the time I come home, I'm out. Then I'm back up early in the morning. I'm out again for a whole week straight. So having someone that understands that, I've been in so many relationships where they're like, all right, does this end? Like, how long are you going to keep doing this for? I'm like, forever. It's my life. Like, so being able to have someone that's like, you got, it's Fashion Week? All right, cool. What are we doing for this whole week? So I'm going to order food this whole week for us. We're going to do this. So he's my rock star.
Yeah, it's important when you collaborate because sometimes I think where things get tricky is when people start to be competitive with each other. Like it's very easy when you come home and for someone to say, you know, I did this too, or, you know, want to be in the spotlight or something like that. So
I've
those are
had
like red
those.
flags.
I've had
I've had
those
it too.
too.
Yeah, yeah, having to justify your time or your whereabouts.
Yeah.
But you have to think about the long run. I guess that's creating any type of partnership, whether
Yes.
it's business or personal, is really having that foundation and like I believe in this. I want to be here. That's so cool. So
You're
I
speaking to me,
was
Stephanie.
yes, I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to you because we're both getting married.
Yes.
I was going to save this, but I was so interested in the stuff you're talking about and like even about how your shirt has the look to it and everything. I'm going to ask you,
Okay.
if you're okay with it, some
Yes.
fun rapid fire questions.
Shoot away.
Okay. So I was thinking about this on the car right here. If right now I was to say you have $20,000, one store you can go into, what would it be?
$20,000, one store I can go into. Ooh, that's hard because I'm not a one store kind of
I
girl.
know. I'm not either. I'm not either.
Oh, wow, that's a good one.
I'll give you two stores.
It doesn't have to be a clothing store.
Oh no, it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
This could be any. You know what? I didn't say that. I already gave you the 20,000 for the store.
Okay.
I messed up the question. So
Because I love Walmart. So you will catch me at
Oh, okay.
Walmart. I buy everything at Walmart. And yeah, I Walmart has everything. Clothes, shoes, food, accessories, everything. I'm like 20,000 because I'm the type person, if I go to the mall, that's why he doesn't shop with me, my fiance. If I go to the mall, I have to stop at every store first, take a look at everything, and then come up with an idea of what I want to
Okay.
look like, and then go back to the stores again.
I tend to see myself, I keep sticking to the same brands. Like now, I tend to keep going back to like Aqua. I like Aqua.
Really?
I'm an Aqua girl. I'm an Express. I love to go to
Express?
Express. Although it's kind of disappointed me lately.
I was gonna say, I was like, Express, I haven't been able to find much lately in there.
Yeah.
Back in the
Oh
days,
my God.
Express
Like
was
20
hot.
years worth of Express. Even, yeah. Even
Yeah,
like a few
Express
years
was
back.
hot a few years, like I would say maybe 10,
The
15.
men's line has gotten really good.
Interesting.
Yeah,
they
my
were
my
back.
fiance wears a lot of the men's shirts and pants, and I have to say, like the quality's gotten better, and it's expensive. I mean, I don't know, it's not Walmart
Yeah.
prices.
And that's another thing. So everyone always, the reason why I say Walmart as well, I'm not, as much as I'm in the industry, I'm not a designer wearer. I don't wear designer.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, you want to know why? Because I come from the industry. I went to school. I learned about wear fabric. I learned from the growing of cotton all the way to the upcycling of clothing. And additional to that is being an intern with all of these designers. I've interned with Douglas Hanna, Tracy Reese, Donna Karen, all of these PR big fashion companies. They source the fabric from the same spot. The same fabric you're getting from Forever 21 is the same fabric you're getting from Gucci, Louis, Prada. All you're really buying into is the brand. And what it is that when I took my textile class, that's what changed my life. To learn how to feel fabric, like we literally had a whole class on feeling fabric. Like I show my fiance the book all the time. We have this big book that has every fabric in the world. And it teaches you about, let's be honest, how many forms of cotton are we really going to have? It's all about how many layers of cotton, how many
So it's a
string.
layer, not a,
Yeah,
okay.
it's not really, there's no special cotton. They just grow it. If maybe it's organically grown without pesticides or something, but it's still cotton. No matter what, cotton is cotton. So the same Hanes underwear we wear, they're big on their cotton. Fruit of the Loom, big on cotton. And it's the same fabric that you're using for Fruit of the Loom that you're wearing on a long sleeve t-shirt that Gucci Louis probably put their logo on.
Yeah, I guess, now I'm like getting away from the fun rapid fire questions because like I want to hear all about this. This is so
Yeah.
much more fun actually. But is there anything, I guess, that you would like say this is something worth wearing? Like for instance, I don't have any designer bags. I mean, Michael Kors is like the highest end bag I have right now. But belts, I like Gucci belts.
Okay, belts are different.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you why, because of the leather. So leather is something that are layers to it. So what we learned when it came to that is like if you cut the animal, you take the skin of the animal, the topmost part of the skin is the cheapest part of the leather. The second layer is like the second most expensive. And then the third thick layer, that's where you get the real heavy duty. So it's like with leather, that is a little bit different because now you felt cheap leather before versus like that real good $300 leather. So the leather, once you learn about what leather to get, then that makes sense.
Okay.
But if we're buying fabric and polyester
Polyester.
is everywhere. And polyester is literally a powder that they put in a mixing solution and it just rolls and then string comes out of it. And
Wow.
that's it. How many ways can we make polyester? So when we're buying all of these things, it's like you're buying for the labels. So I would say FIT kind of messed me up a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Great school. But it definitely made my pockets a lot better because now I know where it comes from. I know how to feel fabric. I'm big on that. I'll buy a dress from Forever 21 that doesn't even look like it's from there. And everyone's like, where did you get that? I'm like, Forever 21. They're like, but how? I never find these things. I feel the fabrics.
You feel the fabric. I feel like I could look at things and kind of
Same thing.
signal out what like just looks.
That's a form
more,
as well.
Yeah.
Feels and looks.
Feels and looks. Okay. Okay. So what is one thing you always have in your bag at all times?
My lip gloss.
Your lip gloss.
Always.
Why lip gloss over lipstick?
Because I was a lip gloss girl forever,
Oh.
and I'm still a lip gloss girl. I just don't. Yeah,
So
I
that's
love
part of your loyalty, right?
Yeah.
You're loyal.
Yeah, lip gloss is as long as you have lip gloss, you always look dressed up. Your face always looks done. If your lips look glossy, your face always looks done. If you wear lipstick without makeup, it kind of throws it off. Everyone's like, "Ooh, why did you put that lipstick on?" But if you put lip gloss on with or without makeup,
Oh, okay. That is a really good tip. I like
you're
that.
always dressed up.
Okay. What is your power color?
Pink.
Pink.
Yeah.
Oh, that works
That's why
out.
when Wonder Girls came, I was like,
Ah.
that's my favorite. I used to be called, my dorm in college was called the Pepto-Bismol room.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. It was all pink.
That's
all
funny.
the bathroom, the kitchen, everything was pink.
Okay, what's your current obsession? A song, a food, or a fashion trend?
My current obsession, my hair.
Oh.
I'm now starting this lock journey. I locked my hair, so now I have locks in my hair. So
Okay.
I've been obsessed with learning how to play with my hair, how to do new styles, because I've always been a person that always had like weaves and braids and everything. Now I'm fully natural. I've never been fully natural my entire life. And
Oh,
no one has
wow.
never seen my real hair. So now stepping into this world of only rocking my real hair, this is a new life for me.
Who inspires you to do that?
My fiance.
This guy is getting major props today.
He is. It's because he
It's
wants
probably because he's in the room too.
that too,
but-
right?
I'm just kidding.
But he wants everybody. He's trying to get my mother to lock her hair as well. He wants.
Well, he's locking his hair, so
Yeah, his hair's been locked.
you
so
know, you
he
got to
wants
get
everybody.
on the trend. Yeah. You know, it's so funny. My daughter does competition for gymnastics, and she always likes, braiding her hair. It's different than locking, right?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a different technique to it. I am so bad at this. What's nice about locking versus like these French braids and all this stuff, it's like you have to do it over and over again.
Yeah. So the braids, yeah, locking, you just set it, let it go. As long as your hair is set, you are A-okay. And I'm really one of those people that did not every morning have to do my hair. That's why I wore weaves, because it was just like I needed to just be done and be okay with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who, now we do extensions and
Yeah.
weaves and all that stuff. And certain cultures, it's super just okay and fashionable. Other
Yeah.
people, are like, what is that? Like, it's just,
How do you do it? Doesn't
Yeah.
yeah. For me, yeah, that's embedded in my culture.
so hair, is it longer or shorter? What's in, what's out?
So honestly, I just wrote a blog post about that.
Oh,
A
I
lot
know
of
I
the
see.
old school hair looks are coming back. So you have the Farrah Fawcett hair look that's coming back. The curtain bangs are coming back. Those little hair clips, like the banana clips that we all used to wear.
Yes, I saw a bunch of banana clips at
They're
church.
ba-
I went
they're
with my
popular.
fiance to church, and I'm like, I wanted to grab a few of them. So when I used to go with my best friend to church in Jackson Heights, I'm actually Jewish, but my fiance is Catholic.
Oh wow,
and,
that's a difference.
yeah. I'm super, super happy. I'm super happy to be anywhere where there's good energy.
Of course.
But there was a lot of banana clips. I
Yes.
actually thought about this. I'm like, I want to grab one of these banana
They're
clips.
they're
We did that. We
everybody is
tormented
rocking.
one girl. She
And
used to
they're-
have and I just to pull
just
on it.
started, and then those hair clips are coming back too.
Oh.
Yeah, so all of that like old school, well, I wouldn't even say old school. I would say like 80s, 90s look.
So who dictates that coming back? Like, is there like a certain group of people? Like when does that come? Is there like a day? You get an email like, okay, today.
So they're called fashion forecasters.
Fashion forecasters.
Yeah,
Okay.
so these people, it's a high turnover position. So if you're interested in it, you really got to be really into it or you get fired quickly. But it's what they do is that they predict the trends 3 to 4 years in advance. So what they do is they look at what's going on right now and try to predict what's going to happen next year and how is it going to transform from the year to then. So the trend is already created 4 years ago. So right now the color of the year is brown. Reason why they put brown is because everybody is in this mellow mode. No one is certain. Everything with the newer politics and the new president.
Okay.
Everybody, and now that I said it, you're gonna see brown everywhere. But it's based on how the world is feeling, what's going on in politics, what's going on in the social world, what's going on in the economical world. Can we afford? Brown is cheaper. Brown is cheaper to make because we can take dirt and make the color brown from it. So they base all of that all together before they forecast it. That's why when a color is very vibrant and very loud, America's rich
Yeah.
because it takes a lot of
wow.
colors to mix that
So when
color.
a color is very vibrant and loud, America's rich. I like that.
Yeah, think about cobalt blue. When that year where cobalt blue was like the biggest thing, everybody was rocking. Everyone had money. Pink is another. When pink was like the biggest thing, we were just getting out the recession and the 2020 COVID era. Everybody
really
wanted to get
interesting.
more vibrant. We were tired of being in the house, so we needed something to pop us out.
Well, I was going to an event with my fiance a few weeks ago, and I had pulled out a purple shirt from my son's closet. I'm like, oh, you should wear this. He's like, I'm not wearing purple. And then it's so funny because there goes that energy thing. At church, everything was purple, and purple's royalty. He associates purple with Prince.
Yep.
So do men wear purple? Is it good?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's actually a men color.
Thank you.
Yeah, purple is a
Thank
man.
you.
He actually has a suit that has purple in it with the purple shirt that he wore. Yeah, purple's a men's color.
Yeah, isn't that the color of confidence or royalty?
Royalty.
Yeah,
Royalty.
yeah. Oh, so that's really interesting. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so when the color's vibrant, we have a little bit more money.
So now that you're doing the talks and podcasting, all that, if you had a dream collaboration, if you could co-host with anyone, who would it be?
I was looking at that question as well. I don't know. That's a good one. Everyone always asks that. Back in the days, I used to really be a big Oprah fan. Don't get me wrong. I'm still a fan of her because I love her interviewing style. I think I took a little bit of her interviewing style to put into mine.
Oh.
I would still stick with Oprah just because of her interviewing style. I think we would piggyback very well.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
She has a few different programs, right?
Oh, she
She's
is doing.
collaborated. Well, she had the whole O network,
Yeah.
right? Is that still going on?
Yeah, that's still going on.
Yeah.
And she still once in a while. Just the other day, she brought back the Oprah show to bring back Halle Berry and all of that to talk about menopause and that
Oh my God,
fun ordeal.
menopause is everywhere.
Yeah, it's a
It's
new
everywhere.
it thing
It's
now.
the new it thing. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess there's like. I guess maybe like the powerhouse generation is now hitting menopause. I'm like
Yeah.
hiding back. I'm like that's like what.
It's because us millennials, we're getting closer to it, so we're like, all right, someone tell us a little bit more, because moms have been keeping the secret. They just been telling us it's hot, but what else happens? Yeah.
It's hot. I know. I feel like it's hot with hair. I don't like. Now I think that's why everybody cuts off their hair. Like when
Yeah.
they're like in
By
their
the time-
50s,
yeah.
because they're like, oh my God, it's so hot.
It's hot.
I was thinking about that. I'm like, oh, I was working out at the gym, and I'm like, it's hot. Mm-hmm. I want to. I'm like, oh, actually hate wearing my hair up.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I think I have some distinct features, and I'm just like I
Just
don't.
trying to hide them.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I feel like I look like a different person.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a great thing. I like doing different looks, and I guess that's why I love fashion, because I get to look different. I like to be a different person. And honestly, when I set the theme for what I'm wearing, I'm like, today I'll be Mrs. Fran, like my fiance always says, or today I'll be this person, or today I want to be this person. And that's what I dress like. And honestly, I start to embody that person too.
I've always liked the look, and I didn't realize this until when I became a nurse practitioner. I threw myself a party, and I had this iconic women theme, and I had like Marilyn Monroe at one table, Elizabeth Taylor, Audrey
Yes.
Hepburn. I like that, clean but yet sexy, regal
yes.
look. I do. I
That's
like
me
that
too.
look. I
That's
do. I
my
do.
thing.
I like that. No matter what I'm wearing, I kind of want to have that like polished vibe.
So you remind me of like Posh from Spice Girls.
Oh my God, it's so funny. Where did I hear that recently?
Someone
The
told you
Posh?
that already?
No,
Oh,
but
okay.
someone was talking about Posh from Spice Girls. I've been watching like a lot of movies lately, and just kind of like finding that time to unwind, like at night. That's one thing I
Yes.
gotten better at. I am so busy in my head.
Me too.
Yeah, how do you get out the noise? Like, how do you schedule things?
I'm now getting better with it. I do pull all-nighters, and what I try to do is every time my fiance would come home, I'm like, all right, 7 o'clock, let's shut everything. Then I'm like, all right, I'm done with working. I'm going to the living room. Let's watch a movie. What do you want to watch? And I just try to do it that way, because I had a lot of feedback too in past relationships where it's like, so where does my time fit in? Like, you're working all day, all through the night. You wake up and you work. So where do we spend time together? And then additional to that, I had a therapist that always used to ask me, do you ever turn off? And I was like,
No.
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? So I had to learn that, because it takes a lot out of you, and it actually ages you faster if you keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Okay, so now that we talked about how much you love Walmart, but you also love Fashion Week.
Yes.
Like
Welcome
when you
to
say
my
that
life.
out loud. So why should women care about fashion? Why is it important? I mean, men too, but
Yeah,
I'm right
it's
now.
a confidence booster. I'm really big on that. I actually wrote a book about revamping your closet.
What's the name of the book?
Joy.
Joy.
Just organize it.
Oh, I love that.
It's on Amazon. So the reason why I think you should focus on what you wear is because when you dress up, you feel better. No matter what's going on, and you just look good, everything just feels better. You walk into a room, it looks brighter. You walk somewhere else, someone comes up to you, gives you a compliment, you feel 20 times better. It's not necessarily dressing for somebody else. It's more so looking good for yourself. You walk past a mirror and you're like, ooh, that's me. I look good. So it's just it's a confidence booster. And then it allows you to do what you need to do 20 times better. So when you walk into a room and you don't look good, you're more likely to go in the background. Keep quiet.
So true.
You're going to try not to be seen. But when you look good, you'll stand in the front. You won't say much, but you'll stand in the front.
I always say you can never be overdressed or overeducated.
No.
And that's probably goes back to needing
Yeah.
to read more books. But I have this thing lately that I don't want to. I'm not looking for a legacy, right? So I'm looking for a life in action.
Okay.
So what is on the horizon for you? Like, what is something actionable that you have going on next?
I
I know you talked
actually,
about the Australia thing, which I'm super hyped
yeah,
about, and I'm
well, I'm
coming.
still working on that one. We may not go this season, but we're as long as we know we're in, we'll definitely go. I'm actually in the process of starting my own media and TV
Oh,
production
wow.
company where I want to be able to provide a 1 year accredited program to students that are interested in learning media production, sound production, everything. So they'll get the 1 year hands on actual experience, and then, well, the education, get their certificate, and then now what ends up happening, now you become a member of my program, so now you can actually do your own show and get hired by other, because I get calls all the time. Q, I need a videographer. Q, do you have any photographers? Q, we need an editor. Like for the Met Gala that's coming up, I actually have to cover the preview party, and I was just called to cover it, and then now I just got another call like, hey, do you have a team that can cover our red carpet, that can provide lighting, that can provide the camera, that could do the edit? So now I'm actually being hired to do more of the work. So I got some people from my team to get hired to get some work.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so one of the things I realized, especially living in Rockland County, accessibility, everything's in New York City, which is great, but now we got congestion toll pricing. Now we got, plus the regular
We
toll.
do.
Tappan Z is like $21. I was shocked to see the price today. I was like, what the
And
hell?
you don't even realize with this Easy Pass, like this Easy Pass makes you easily
Oh,
lose your wallet.
I
Like
am broke because of Easy
I
Pass.
don't even realize. I'm like, it's like telling me I need to it's like a Dunkin' Donuts
They
card
just
or
took
something.
money
It's
out.
like
Yeah,
refill
they
another
refill. At this point,
$25.
they were like, "Oh, you need your replenish needs to come up." I was like, "I just put $160 the other day. What do you mean?" So that is one of the reasons why I'm building it more in Rockland County. And another thing is that hopefully the filming incentive really works. But one of the things is because there's a filming incentive in New York City, that's where all the work is given to. So then now you have limits, and people, not everyone has the access or has the ability to do these things because they're like, oh, it's only in New York City, it's not here in Rockland. But now that we're going to open it up for that, now we could get the upstate kids to enjoy the media.
That's so important because I think you could get very closed in and think that the only thing happening in the world is what's happening in your world.
Yeah.
And we're very blessed. Like right now, we're in Kennesaw, New Jersey, but you came from, New York and Rockland County, and the fact that we're like in this big world, this is the dream,
Yeah.
This is that, I woke up one day with a, New York City dream on, and that was me. Like I felt like I wrote this poem when I was 17, 18 years old. My fingers are itchy and I want it. I want, the dream
I
that was
like
left
that.
behind on the E train, when
Ooh.
someone made the switch,
Oh,
that
that's a
type of
Queens
thing.
girl for real. That's the
Yeah.
only train that goes there.
Yeah.
Oh, and the
Oh
F
no, there's
train.
a lot of trains
And the F
and
train.
the seven.
Oh, okay.
I grew up in like the hub where there was a lot of switches.
Oh, you got
So
lucky.
yeah, you could take the E, the seven, the R would
I lived
come
in
by.
Queens, and I could only take the F to, I forgot that one stop, and then I would have to get in my car and drive to Queens Village.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. No, I was like in that hub,
That Flushing area.
yeah. I was on
Nice.
Roosevelt Avenue,
Oh.
so yeah,
Yeah, you lived great.
yeah.
That's
But
amazing.
it is. It's true. Like there's, we could go on forever about like the dynamic of just doing that. So I commend you for giving accessibility. And I guess since we're coming to a close soon, I think it's a perfect time to ask you about people who do feel that feeling of stuck or small.
Yes.
So what's one thing you want to tell them, like about becoming who you are? Because like you said, for you it's easy, for me it's easy. This is something that somehow we had that magical switch and we kept going with it. Of course we've probably have like knocked out the fact that we didn't talk about, we've all had traumas and different things in our
Yeah.
lives, but
Yeah.
we're focusing on this like beautiful world, these collaborations. Like what would you tell, people who feel stuck and small?
Just start. Just start. Because everyone always kept saying, how did you do this? One day I just decided that I'm just going to do it. And I just started. I just grabbed the phone. Literally, my first interview was with a phone. And this was before camera phones were really that
Oh, wow.
big. So that interview with the NFL pop-up shop was a cell phone. So just start. That's it. And if you think, oh, you need this, you need that, no, you don't. And plus, you live in a world that's way more extravagant. So no, you don't. Just start. My podcast, I started in the bedroom with speaking on my phone and just uploading it, and people just kept coming. Just start.
Just start, right?
Yeah.
That's such good advice.
Yeah, because you always keep thinking, oh, no, it has to be perfect. No, I just need to get this day. It has to be on this day. No, it has to look like. No, just start. Whatever you have at that present moment, if you're feeling it, just do it. Just do it. And I promise you everything else will fall into place.
And I'm thinking of another question for you because you're so interesting to talk to. Like for me, I always say, if everything was to fall apart today, I would start all over and I'd be somebody else. I'd do something else. What if this job doesn't work out? What if, different things don't work out? I mean, I'm at a point in my life where like things are pretty established, but, you know, do you feel that way? Do you feel like you
yeah.
are you no matter what?
Yeah, I always say that. I'm like, if I'm done with this Q Talks life, I'm a philanthropist. I'll just keep doing nonprofits and finding money that way. Or if that doesn't work out, then I'll try some real estate. I have the ability to try everything.
So you have that like internal
yeah,
grit, hustle,
yeah,
that
I'm a
internal,
hustler.
yeah.
I am whichever way I can get it, I'm gonna get it. Yeah.
You just like enjoy life, it seems like.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I was always one of those people where I just didn't like to do things the normal way. I never wanted an office job. I never wanted that 9 to 5 job. I've had them, don't get me wrong. I've been in corporate. I've hated it. When I say I hated it, it was like pulling teeth being in corporate. Plus, I'm an artsy person. And then for me, it was just like, just do whatever you want. You really don't need to have a conventional job to get a regular paycheck. You can do multiple things. And sometimes I get paid more than having a regular job. So,
That's great.
Yeah. If I can get it, trust me, I'm going to get it. I'm a hustler.
So how can people find you? Like, what's the best way to reach out to you? I'm so excited about your book. I'm so excited about the show.
Thank you. You can find me on social media, all platforms. Everything is Q Talks, QUI, Talks with an S at the end. You just put me into Google. I pop up everywhere. I was like, you can Google me.
Yay! Yay! So is there any last words or anything you want to chat about before we head off?
Being the topic of resetting,
Yes.
find a moment for yourself, always. My moments are every morning. I read my Bible, I take my walk, and I meditate.
That's
That is
beautiful.
every morning before I start my day.
Yeah, I recently, been focusing more on meditating, whether it's just listening to a song or just getting outside of my head, asking myself to quiet my head.
Meditation goes further. So for me, I became a meditation guru because I was one of those people. I sometimes would get hot-headed. Like if something really gets me annoyed, I'm just like,
Oh, yeah.
So meditation taught me a lot how to calm down. When something's not going right, it's just like, when you breathe, you just feel, when you feel that fire burning when you're angry, it's meditation removes that. There was a point in time where I forgot that I couldn't get angry anymore. I was like, oh my God, I can't get angry. How can I get angry? And I made myself angry. And I got upset that I got angry. So I was like, all right, I prefer not to be angry. So meditation is one of those things where I can get really tense, but then after a while, I'm just like, all right, we're cool. Let's keep it pushing.
It's true because it makes you so much less reactive.
That's the word I'm looking for. Yes, it makes you very less reactive.
Yeah, and I could even see you, and I'm like thinking about like, just feeling the fabric, feeling the look, thinking about how that all plays into part. Like,
and I'm an activist.
Yeah.
So with me being active, doing all of that activism work, and being in the political world, being on the Human Rights Commission, the human rights is already stressful. So the things that I go through outside of just the fashion world, meditation is what calms me down. I'd probably be in jail if I didn't meditate.
I don't think you would. You're too sweet.
You say that.
But that's it. And that's how we met. And that's why I'm so happy you came on today, because I think, it's so important to share your story, but it's also so important to give a voice to somebody else.
Yes.
And every time something good happens to me, anytime something's working out, I think of another way I could share it. And when you started the show with me, you were talking about the people who saw something in you and invited you. If you invite people to the table, they're going to invite you.
They will.
It's going to be abundance.
Yes.
So I am so
like
grateful
that.
for you being here. Thank you again.
Thank you for having
And you definitely
me.
have to check out Q Talks because it's awesome. And I just want to give a final shout out to Evolution Medicine for
Yes.
powering today's conversation, because real evolution happens when we take bold action, just like we're doing today. today. It provides patient-centered care and can be reached at www.evolutionmedicineapn.com, or you could call 973-936-8108. And thanks for having this conversation with me.
Of course, anytime. Call me again.
Daydream, I fell asleep amid the flowers for a couple of hours on a beautiful day. Daydream, I dream of you amid the flowers for a couple of hours. Such a beautiful day. I dream of the places I've been with you, how we sat with the street